bright lights, reflections, screen flickers, tales of crime and affection. Baristas mix caffeine with tales of deception. Lawyers joke and shadows plot their redemption. Case files like popcorn scatter on the floor. Jury's out in line, folks begging for more. Quirky loopholes twist through every door. Paparazzi flash for the courtroom encore. Legal shenanigans theater, baby, where justice lasts. Crime and humor dance, baby, a curious path. Grab your ticket, honey, let the gavel smash. In the flood of laughter, see the road splash. Scoundrels with a smile, defense on their lips.
Welcome, everyone, to King Dingleberry, presented by Legal Shenanigans Theater. I was going to put Dingleberry, or Beauty and the Dingleberry, but I didn't want to put his wife anywhere near him after what he did.
Or his dingleberries.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
yes, can we come back to my first complaint that this dude, this paragon of male, well, slovenliness, was talking about how his wife had lost her womanly curves.
Yeah. Well, he gained
know.
them, so, I mean, there's that.
I mean, he does have a solid B cup, and he
Yeah.
looks like he's due, well, any moment.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a six-pack. I mean, he may have, like, a mini keg, but hey, you know.
Yeah. So we are going through the Tony Todt confession. Now, Tony Todt was a chiropractor, or not a chiropractor, a physical therapist. He and his wife had been together since high school. You know, they set up a fairly lucrative physical therapy practice with 2 offices up in Connecticut. But his wife, Megan, was suffering from Lyme disease. Now, Lyme disease apparently is fairly common up in Connecticut because I guess they just are covered in woods. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they figured that the warmer climate down in Florida, and they were Disney adults, they went to Disney every year and did all the Disney stuff, but they decided to get or rent a home in Celebration, Florida. So first they actually bought a condominium, and then they rented an actual house there. So they had basically 3 houses.
Yeah.
Well, unbeknownst to Megan and the children, as they're living pretty much in Florida, well, Tony's committing a little bit of what we like to call Medicare and insurance fraud. Double booking people, double billing people. And the feds, you know, came in and basically said, you was caught. You are all the guilty, shut down his practices. But this was around Thanksgiving. And for some reason, the feds were in a marvelously benevolent mood and decided to let him go spend, you know, the holidays in, you know, Florida with his family. Well, he never came back. So finally, the feds go down there, see him in the house, and walk into unimaginable horror. Because in the intervening weeks, now the story that Tony Todt tells is that his wife got really into Eastern religion and decided they all needed to cross over before Armageddon. Now, what it more looks like is that Tony Todt was going to annihilate his entire family because his entire life was, you know, falling down around him. He even unalived the dog. Yes, the dog. So now, the way Tony tells it, he wanted to go with his family to the other side. He tried a Red Rider Daisy, you know, thing, tried to hit himself in the stomach with some of them pellets, tried to drink a whole bunch of, you know, Benadryl, just all these things. And somehow he was, you know, such an ubermensch that he could not die.
Yeah.
But in probably the most grotesque and horrifying fact in this case, he lived with the remains of his family for up to 3 weeks. Like he was there with all of them rotting. It's grotesque. And we show you the interrogation first because we are going to show you the opening statements in his case and then his time on the stand. And The transformation will be somewhat incredible from this lump of turd to a slightly smaller lump of turd, but with much more arrogance. So
Yes.
think, oh gosh, the woman who was going to be a lawyer,
Woman who's
but
gonna be.
ended up starving her autistic son,
Oh, Sandra
Vanderness,
Vander Ark.
Vander Ark. So think
Yeah.
Vander Ark, think Sarah Boone. This is the same mentality. Yes, he took the stand, and the prosecutor, the woman prosecutor, just obliterates him. And it is a
Yes.
beautiful thing to see because he has that Sarah Boone mentality. He has that, Shanda Vander Ark mentality that if I can just explain it, you guys will understand that I'm not the bad guy here. I did what I was told,
Yeah.
which didn't work for anyone with, the old Austrian painter in the 30s. So,
Yeah. It's not one of those things that goes over very well. Um, but the when he does take the stand, it is glorious. It may be one of the best uh, cross examinations by a prosecution
yes.
to an actual defendant that I have seen. Because I know you and I have both mentioned that we like dreading and dreading.
Yes.
he he paused it when she's began the interrogation, and if you guys have ever seen dreading, he's a pretty mild guy, and he said he's like, if you've ever wanted to see what it looks like when a man wants to hit a woman, this is it.
Yes, I'm going to
Because
try to
yeah,
clip that at that exact moment when we get to it. But we figured it was important, even though this was filmed on a Casio speak and spell, to include this because what his lawyer is going to attempt to say is that he was so discombobulated, so out of his mind, that this interrogation should have been thrown out, this confession.
yeah,
Now, that didn't work out for the defense because, as you will see, he is quite lucid when he's not pretending to be a little bit off his rocker.
yeah. So you have some homework as you're listening. So pay attention to what he's actually saying, because I know so far we've covered that there was a green handled knife, there was like a red handled knife or something. Like he's giving details, and then
Yes.
they follow up with him like minutes and minutes later, and he recalls all of these details. So for somebody who's allegedly off of his rocker on Benadryl, he has a very good memory.
Yeah.
So
So it's,
yeah,
and I will commend these detectives because reason number 80 billion and 1183-2, subsection C, I cannot be a cop. Once he said what he did about his daughter, and this is one of the more sad part of the case. Basically, this giant man, this lumpy doughboy, laid on his 4-year-old daughter to asphyxiate her.
yeah,
He could feel her struggling, he could hear her screaming, and he laid on top of her and covered her mouth and face with a pillow.
yeah. Dad of the year.
So, yeah. And he was saving them allegedly from the Armageddon. Now, it is important to note that when they went through Megan's electronic stuff, she was more into homeopathy rather than like reincarnation. So a lot of this story doesn't add up. And he will pull the Chris Watts. He will pull the Megan done did it all and I came home and I was so angry. I done took her out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's get into this. I believe have gotten past the part where he talks about the children. If not, I will write that down and put it in. I need to put a time stamp in on the last one, but this does involve kids. As Dreading always says, you are the only one that can protect your mental health. So no shame if you have to drop out of here. It is not worth it to me to get clicks or, views if this is going to ruin your day. But just know that I will try to put timestamps in. This week with Lake and Riley has been more emotional than I thought it was, so I did not get that done. But let's get into this.
In her bed.
Her. Okay. What was her name?
Breezy.
Breezy.
Oh, this is when he's talking about the dog. So
Did
you guys,
I'm sorry, where did you kill the dog at?
It was on the foot of the bed on Megan's side.
In the master room?
That's correct.
Okay. And that was, the final resting spot was in the master bedroom, correct?
Correct.
All right. So the dog's dead. Now what happens?
Meg wanted to go.
Okay.
So we have decided, I said, what do you want to get? Your wine? What do you want to help calm us down? So it won't hurt as much. We had some spray
I do
stuff.
not remember.
So she could use that instead. So she wanted some wine and some, it's purple,
Purple
Town
dank.
PM. She started taking that.
okay, so here is the part where this whole like dying peaceably, they decided that, according to Tony, because all of the children except for their youngest had stab wounds as well. Now, for a man educated in medicine, you should know that the femoral artery is fairly close to the skin. You can reach it and you would exsanguinate in about 60 seconds. I watch way too much true crime. Mr. Mo's always like, are you planning to unalive me? I'm like, no, I'm planning not to get caught, allegedly, in Minecraft. But instead,
That would be a terrifying thing to hear.
he knows me. They don't start looking until I'm on my third husband. Look, Black Widow bucket list. No, I'm just kidding. I can't go back and date again. He is saved because I never want to date again. We have had arguments where I've said that, like, look, I really don't like you, but I'm never dating again, so we'll stay married until I like you again.
You're a trip.
Oh yeah, believe me. Vielhammer heard me yell at Mr. Mo because he found Mr. Mo finds all these things on Facebook that are mostly scammerific. And there was like a big pane flat screen thing that was supposed to be a Google Calendar that was like a touch screen. And he's like, get two of them. They're $39. And I'm like, that's a scam.
It was kind of funny.
Yeah. So just know that Mr. Mo gets treated to Mo to 100. You guys just get Mo to 35 or so. But back to the story. So instead of using his medical knowledge to make this quite painless, the goal, in his words, was to get the inferior vena cava. So a blood vessel so deep into your torso that you would need a very long knife comparatively. It's and in the umbilicus is kind of right where your belly button is. So he is going to state, and I need you to realize that he is trying to float this story of, okay, Megan asked me to stab her twice in the abdomen, and when that didn't go fast enough, she wanted me to smother her, but she praised me the entire time for being a good husband, except the only thing I failed at was unaliving her quickly.
Yeah.
Now, I'll take never fucking happened for 800, Alex.
That's a double jeopardy, Mo.
What is this is a fucking lie? That's correct. You get $800.
16.
But
double jeopardy.
This is where he is going to get into that. So he does get pretty graphic because, again, he wants you to see himself as this benevolent, guy who just wanted to put people out of their misery. But these were painful and slow ways to go, and his oldest son fought against him. So
Yeah.
he's just an utter piece of trash, and I cannot wait till we get to the point where the prosecutor is just tearing him a new one. Much like his prison boyfriends, I hope, are doing too. Allegedly in Minecraft. I'm in full vengeance mode today. I'm like, sounds good.
Yeah, well, usually they don't treat children offenders of any kind very well in the old
Yeah.
jailhouse. So
And people that have superiority complexes, I'm sure Sarah might want to tone that down just a bit.
Yeah, same with this guy.
Yeah.
That a little bit. Gave her the knife. And I laid next to her, and she put the knife into her stomach. Okay. And I said, "Did you get the spot? It's right here." She said, "Yeah, I feel it." Okay. I'm laying there for 45
First time in
minutes. It's
his
supposed
life
to
he's
take
been on the spot.
about 10 minutes, whatever.
Can you up your mic setting a little bit? I've got you
Yes.
up all the way, and
Yes, I can do that.
awesome possum. Yeah, but so you're telling me, so she called, let me place this setting. Ma and Pa Tot are in the bedroom, and she's like, I'm ready to shuffle off this mortal coil. I'm gonna have some wine, I'm gonna have some Tylenol PM, and then I'm going to stabulate myself in the inferior vena cava. And he's just laying there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this never happened. This is like the people that believe, in all of the conspirasities. There's an empty hole in the North Pole where there's a secret, hankety clankety base from World War II.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, so she's already in this story, she's already stabulated herself. She's waiting to pass. And apparently her stab was not effective.
Yeah.
And he didn't hit the spot as per usual.
Makes sense. If you hit the spot.
And what is in that spot? What are you talking about?
If you
Which
hit
spot?
the cava. On the umbilicus. You're supposed to be able to bleed out. They say 1 to 4 minutes, but under 10 minutes.
And what are you specifically targeting within that area?
The inferior vena cava.
Okay.
It's a big blood return. Okay. It's a large vessel, and you bleed out in the abdomen. It's just quick.
All right.
Okay.
Again, I would like to reiterate that the femoral artery is very close to the top of your thigh, and you bleed out within 40 seconds if it's not taken care of.
Yeah.
So, and I know that from reading terrible romance novels and watching way too much true crime. He went on to Quora or QAnon
Yeah.
or,
Cora. Yeah.
yeah. Probably got some really bad ideas now that I understand how it works. Which I feel really bad about for his family, but if he had done it to himself, I would not feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody who's seen the movie
And-
Black Hawk Down would know that it's right there.
Also, notice his demeanor. He is talking like he is talking about the weather or getting his McDonald's orders mixed up. It is not, woohoo, I'm right about something. But it's still, notice his demeanor. He's not losing track of things. He's not having nebulous or uncontrolled. He is, in fact, pregnant with the demon he sold his soul to. I wish that I were there for that birth, but dang it. You're dilating, you're crowning. I would have just been there. I'd been like, Tony, you can do it. Come on. No epidural for you. Breathe. Focus on nirvana.
Yeah.
How much did she consume wine I'm assuming is it grape flavored? You can say pinnacle.
Yeah, the first one was grape flavored.
What do you mean first one?
She had a glass of wine with the stuff. Okay. We were laying there for about 45 minutes. After she stabbed herself, she says, I feel nothing.
So what vintage of Merlot do you mix with Tylenol PM? Is that a red or a pink or a...
Maybe a Boone's Farm goes good with.
This is not Pablo Escobar. This is Tony Todt. He destroyed and unalived his entire family down to the dog.
I mean,
And now he's explaining how he did it.
I mean, according to the Netflix documentary, I can see the resemblance.
True. He should have just put on a Spanish accent. Like I can't do one, but
Yes.
I mean, look, I am proud of myself when I say arroz con pollo, like a not idiot in Mexican restaurants.
I don't know how to speak Spanish, and like I don't attempt to. Like, I can say some things the proper way, but like, I'm not good at that. Like,
I
the
took 4
rolling
years in
the
high school,
R's.
and the only thing I remember is "Hola, lo siento, pero la línea está ocupada," which means "Hi, I'm sorry, the line is busy." Which I could see if I were a Spanish telemarketer, that might be my only marketable skill.
Well,
Like,
that's a
no,
whole bunch of
I'm just
words.
here to tell you the line is busy. And then when they start complaining, I just hang up.
That is a whole bunch more words than I know. So,
It's the only phrase I remember. And I'm like, why would I remember, "Hi, I'm sorry, the line is busy"?
yeah, like, I mean, I remember like the three words that that I was told I was supposed to know. I only remember two of them now, and that is cervezas and senoritas. I don't
Well,
know
I mean,
how to ask for where the
encompasses
bathroom is.
baño. I do remember that. Welcome to Legal Shenanigans Theater, where you learn other languages too. Sort of.
Yes, it's
Mostly
like
curse.
Rosetta Stone.
Yes. Or Muzzy. I swear to God, I started talking about that on Baker's stream, and they were on infomercials all the time, and I so wanted to be bilingual, but my mom never bought one. So I blame her for my lack of linguistic skills. It was four VHSs, and you could learn to speak French.
Yeah, I
Or
see. I took French in high school, but like that was like 2 days, so I didn't do so well in French.
it's all the things. We at least sort of speak English.
Yeah.
Nothing happening. I said, okay, this is good. What do you want to do? She said, do we have any Benadryl? I said, we have liquid Benadryl.
I never said I
Let me have
did.
that. Let me try some of that.
I'm a
Maybe
grammar
that'll
and
ease the
spelling
sleep or let me
outlaw.
go sooner. So she was drinking liquid Benadryl. And I was checking back on her, give her some peace. Walked around, came back, walked around, came back. And at one point I thought she had passed from going to Benadryl. Nope, she was still there, and she had sat up.
What makes you think she passed?
She was very quiet, there was no motion. I couldn't see her abdomen going up and down. This is from afar without even me going up to see her. Okay?
Was her eyes open?
Eyes were closed.
So notice he can delineate all the reasons that he thought she was past. Now, ladies, I'm just going to throw this out to the group. I know women can handle a lot of pain, but say you're drunk on Benadryl, you've just done stabulated yourself in the abdomen, and your husband, this doughboy, is wandering around waiting for you to pass. Now, the only thing I can compare it to is labor. And for all you men out there, this is a public PSA to keep you alive and safe. I know you want to look at that monitor and you want to tell us that a contraction is really big. We know. Thanks for telling us. We got it. Just for your safety, do not say like, "Oh my God, this is a huge one. Do you feel that?" Now, lucky that I could not get out of the bed and Mr. Mo is still with us, but our first child, he did not know the rule of, "Oh my God, that's a huge contraction. That must really hurt."
Yeah.
It is amazing that men survived one generation.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that I guess that they were displayed on a monitor somewhere. But this is interesting
Yeah.
information. Did not know this.
Yeah. Just letting you know for a PSA, your wife, significant other, birth partner, whatever you want to call them anymore, because it's 2024 and I don't know what the hell people are doing anymore. Can I rant just 1 second? It was hard enough to teach my children the birds and the bees, but now I have a whole effing Noah's Ark I gotta tell them about, and some of the stuff is confusing as hell to me.
True.
I'm
Like math.
I have no idea what a polycule is, but okay.
A what?
A polycule. So apparently it's just a big group that are sort of in a relation dateship. Think Ezra Miller, where he had like a bunch of people around him that he would relate with in a marital way. I feel like Hank Hill, like,
Have
they would have
relations
like
with.
we would get close to each other and such.
I thought that was called an orgy.
Well, I guess it has relationship entanglements. I don't know what people do. I thought we all figured, yeah, kind of like a PDD party, but you're supposed to remember their birthdays and like their moms and what their middle name is.
Well, I mean, I assumed that they would at least be of age, so it couldn't be a PDD party.
No,
Allegedly.
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 I wondered why I could never find baby oil, and then for years and years, P Diddy has been hoarding the supply.
Yes. And unironically, he has a whole bunch of Johnson & Johnson stock.
Not unironically, prudently, if you're him.
True.
Although, if you're the main buyer, then the profit's coming from you, then, I don't
I
understand
mean,
stock.
isn't he technically inflating the stock by himself? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it could work.
Yeah, we're not going to untangle the P. Diddy thing, so let's get back to this and how his wife, is failing to pass away. Oh, man.
She communicating with you?
After the guys came out, I was like, Meg, she said, I'm here. I said, okay. So I said, what do you want to do? You want to try more Benadryl? Do you want the knife back again? What do you want to do? And she goes, let me try some more Benadryl. And then if that, we'll do a second. What's that? Okay. Give her a bunch more Benadryl. Like I said, let that settle in for a while. Settle in.
When you say a bunch more, you got about approximate amount?
I really don't. I know she was she was
Like a bottle?
Yes, there was I don't know, there was a big bottle. Like a family size Benadryl thing.
She killed the whole bottle?
In two different sippings, yes.
Oh, okay.
Phrasing.
Okay. And that wasn't happening, so she decided to go through her liver. Okay. We looked.
Okay, so if the goal here is a painless, quick death, I can almost tell you that cutting your liver or bisecting your liver to bleed out internally is neither quick nor painless.
Yeah. I
Also,
reckon.
the going theory that is not narrated by Tony Todt, the giant festering boil on the butt of humanity, is that he drugged his entire family. Now, I think the first person that he tried to take out was... So, Benadryl comes in because in Tony Todd's story, he wanted... everyone wanted to go peacefully, so they figured they could sedate the children and everyone else, and then when they decided to bleed them out, they wouldn't fight back.
Yeah.
Now, the police and state theory of this is that Tony Todt poisoned basically put his family in a deep sleep with Benadryl. We don't know how he got the Benadryl in them. There was a pie, like a pudding pie, that had just crap tons of Benadryl in it, but we're not sure how he did it, but they were most likely asleep, except for his oldest son, who did fight him.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely that any of this scenario happened, just for the sheer fact that if you stab yourself in the stomach, you are not going to be lying there passively. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Human nature, the will to live, is kind of a base instinct. It's hard to fight. So it is very likely that all of his family was asleep or nearly asleep when this happened.
Yeah.
But let's get into this, how he was the super husband and, of course, unalived his wife in an act of duty and devotion.
So I pulled up the thing and the pad liver, we laid it out on where it was on our skin, according landmarks, and so it's right in this area. So, okay. And she, with two hands, pushed in. And you heard like a little click, as if it went through something. Okay, so I was like, okay, sounds like it went through the liver, that's good, okay. She pulled it out, she put the knife right next to her, and I just laid with her. And I laid there and held her, and we just waited. It seemed like hours went by, nothing else happening. I got up, I wanted to check on our boys, our little one, make sure everything was going okay in the house, everything was okay. Came back and she's sitting up to the edge of the bed. And she's cleaning the room. I'm like,
What was she cleaning it with?
it was,
Now, there's a lot of women like to clean. I like an orderly thing, and especially with small children, you like an orderly place around you. Reasons I would not clean. Well, at this point, I am drunk on Benadryl. I have a liver stab wound, and I have basically a pubic stab because I don't think they got the inferior vena cava. It is located closer to your spine, and you have organs in the middle. So, of all the veins to try to nick, it's going to be the hardest.
And
But she's cleaning. She's just up, she can't keep a good girl down, just cleaning, picking up.
which is funny because she was so weak and basically helpless because of her Lyme disease, according to him, that it's weird that she's just up and cleaning the entire house and bedroom or whatever, even though she basically, the way as he describes it, she basically needed somebody to be there for her to wait on her hand and foot basically all the time.
Yes.
So his story and his theories of things don't exactly line up here.
Yeah.
But I would also like to pose, since you are a parent and mother here, is that I imagine that if any of this was actually true, I would think that you would probably want to be with your children, maybe.
Well, here's where this story breaks apart for me. Even if I accept the premise that Megan wanted to pass, into the afterlife, if you don't take care of Megan first, and in his telling of the story, he's taking care of everyone, even the dog, but Megan last. There is something instinctual, lizard brain, when you hear your kid cry, when you hear your kid scream in pain. Other moms, aunties, people that care about children, you will feel your heart race. You are in action mode and you are ready to go fight a dragon or help that kid no matter what. So you could hear, I'm sure she heard this. Sure she heard the struggle if, she was alive. And in his story, she helped hold the oldest son down.
Yeah.
That goes against everything. Now, the way he talks about Megan, she is not so deeply delusional to be like, Andrea Yates. She doesn't have that kind of psychoses that, is a factor in a lot of maternal feticides or filicide. No, filicide is when you kill unaliving your children. A lot of times it's because they are completely delusional and believe that they need to go to heaven, to a better place. But even then, he doesn't talk about her like she is such in that place that she could ignore those screams, those whimpers, those fight noises.
Yeah.
It just, that to me as a mom, as a woman, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Now I understand that there are women that unalive their children that have no mercy. But from everything we know, from, other people around the family, she was utterly devoted to these kids. And I think that she did have Lyme disease, but it wasn't all crippling. She had good days. She had, not so great days. But the kids were still in a bunch of stuff. She homeschooled them. So you're telling me that mom instantly turned to one that could ignore those screams and those muffled cries. It just does not work for me.
According to Mr. Todt, yes.
Yeah, well, I'd like 5 minutes with Mr. Todt. I think I could accomplish his crossover. I doubt he'll go to heaven, but I'm willing to facilitate.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I'd need well, a really long knife to get his inferior vena cava, but I'm willing to try. Allegedly in Minecraft.
I'll provide a butter knife and tongs.
Yep.
She had, I think she had a towel at one point.
Yes.
But she was definitely, I can't, but she was up, she was washing it, rinsing it at one point. And she's like, this has got to be done, it's taking too long, this is ridiculous. I'm like, shall we go on and look at different other aspects to do this? How do you want to do this? She goes, I want this ended now. I said, okay, what does that mean? She goes, I want you to take the pillowcase, put a pillow, and put it over my head. I said, I don't know if I can do that. And she looked at me, she goes, if you love me, you can do this. I want to be with my babies.
I'm going to take another 800 for things that never fucking happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just waiting out for him to like bust out into song like Be My Baby Tonight.
Yeah.
Because that's how ridiculous that sounds.
Or Meatloaf, like, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Which, if you have a question about that song, it means he won't cheat on her. The amount of people that can listen to those lyrics and not get the point, infuriates me to no end. It makes me rage-filled, and I don't know why. But it's spelled out in the damn song, people. Just listen to the damn lyrics. It's not that hard. He will not cheat on her. He will not, use her hard, put her away wet. He's not going to leave her in this ho-dunk town. He's not going to, he's not going to do anything other than love her and not leave her and not be a douche. Tony Todt, you should have learned from Meatloaf, but no, you didn't. You were probably one of those assholes who's like, I don't even know what he wouldn't do for love.
But he ate the meatloaf. He did that.
Well, yeah.
So, and she just looked at me, she was just strong enough and you can do it. Okay. So I said, why don't you take some more Benadryl? So at least.
The cop that's like, sure, okay. Like, that okay was the most unauthentic okay. Like, just please go on with your stupid story.
It's like the guy in the Chandler Halderson thing. He's like, okay. He's like,
Yeah.
now what happened next? Okay.
Yeah. Oh
Okay,
my God,
bro.
Chandler Halderson was the worst interview. I would rather watch beige paint dry slowly. I don't know how he got a girl. I don't know how he cheated on Kat to the point that she, geolocated him all the time. But how does this dude get women?
Maybe he's a smooth talker. Like, that's the only thing that I can think of. I have no idea.
Maybe he's packing. Maybe that's the only thing I can figure. Because who knows?
Well, I don't think that theory is true. Is because if you recall correctly, when they were in the interrogation, they asked Kat if they had sex that weekend, and she had to think about it. So if he was packing, she would have.
Truth. Although she didn't remember she was allergic to chocolate and she picked a chocolate chip cookie, so
This is true.
possibly
Maybe he
not
just-
his fault.
Maybe he just picked women that chose to bring things into their lives or people into their lives that they knew were bad for them, but they could just ignore it and forget about it.
Probably.
Maybe
He's
that's
like,
what he
I
did.
played Tarkov, and she was like, I'm taking my clothes off. Tarkov, you say? Not Halo ODST? I'm there.
Yeah. She's like, bruh, say no more.
She's like, shut up and take my sweater.
You're not going to fight me. And I'll do it. So she took what about it? She took some more Benadryl. And maybe about 15 minutes later, I came back to her room. I said, you still want to do this? And she talked to me like that, very far out. Yeah, get it done.
How much Benadryl would you guys have?
I don't know.
Did you have to go get any more during this time?
During that time, no.
What other times did you have to?
After that was done, for me to commit suicide.
Now that you had already prepared, I mean, you had enough to take care of the children and yourself, or Megan?
Megan and myself, for what we thought.
How many balls do you approximately think you had?
We had
Well, to answer that closed caption, he has no balls. But let's go back.
Yourself, or Megan?
Megan and myself, for what we thought.
How many balls do you approximately think you had?
No balls. And I don't know if you could... Okay, this is probably crass, but he probably hasn't seen his wing wang in years. I don't even know if he knows where his bulbs are. Do they go back into your body when you're that? Like when you have a... I'm asking as like a scientific physics question. This is why I'm not allowed to interview people. I'd be like, okay, so question, like, do you see your bubble? Like, do you know where, like, is it like one of those object permanence things that you learn as a toddler? Like it's there even if you can't see it?
Like, I think once boys become aware that it's there, they never forget.
Believe me, Mr. Mo has to have a talk with our oldest son because he's always in the restroom. And he's like, well, why don't you talk about it? And I was like, hey, no. Hell to the no. I have taken care of 3 girls through puberty. Screw you, you're on your own.
You handle the crusty socks. I had to deal with the other stuff. Yes.
This is why I love this channel, because we're just like
had 2 boxes
closed
of
caption.
CDs, I know that, which is straight dimethyl, which is these little pills. We had 2 things of
bought
Tylenol
Unison.
PM, I remember that, which is a great purple one. And I think we had 2 bottles of vinegar. These are big bottles.
Family size?
Yes.
But getting through Megan, did she take it all?
She ended up taking a lot more than what we had thought we'd take it. So,
Hey, Megamind, so you didn't perhaps ask Google or titrate the amount of Benadryl you would need for a, well, festering pile of crap as such as yourself?
Cora came back and said, undetermined. It's like a magic 8-ball. You just shake it and it depends on what happens.
It's ridiculous. Antifreeze exists, right? So,
I mean, lots of things exist. And like, that's the thing. Like, what are the odds that in Minecraft, that they had bleach in their house, that they had gasoline for a lawnmower? Like,
yeah.
lots of things exist. He really didn't want to because he thought he was going to get away with it. Like, that's...
Yeah, definitely it's like that, but you are going to now hear the Herculean efforts he went to demise himself. And again, as an Ubermensch, as one of our betters genetically, he was unable to die.
Yes.
Unfortunately, allegedly in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Her numbers should be a lot higher results-wise, you know what I mean, like as far as toxicologies and stuff.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay. Once she was cleaned up, you talked about wiping of the towel or something like that, did you see a substantial amount of blood or anything outside the body?
She kept the shirt on, I didn't look underneath.
Okay. Did you see anything on the bed?
No, your liver carries a shit ton of blood. It is where, your blood filters out bad stuff. So, if she had actually stabulated herself in one of the lobes of her liver or her liver, yes, she would bleed internally, but that's still a pretty substantial wound, and she's going to have blood that you can see outside her shirt.
Yep. I mean, logic would dictate that.
But this is Tony Todd's story. Let him tell it, I guess.
But remember, Mo, he is a doctor,
Oh, yeah, he's a
allegedly.
doctorologist. Oh my gosh, that is the best part. Part of me is like, let's just go to the testimony, but you have to go through the interrogation to kind of understand all the crap that he spewed.
Yeah, you have to get through the
But
foreplay.
every time that he would try to give his inverted comma air quotes expertise on a medical expertise area outside of physical therapy, the state prosecutor would object, saying he doesn't, laid foundation, not an expert, not cited as an expert. She's like, he's a physical therapist, not a doctor. No. And he hated that. And it's delicious.
It
So
is.
be on the watch. In fact, I
But
might,
then she wanted a different sheet, I remember that, so she put a different sheet down.
So the old one should still be back at the house?
It should be.
Okay. So she tells you that it's not working, she wants you to suffocate her. That was the grape pillow I think you kept talking about.
It's a little gray rectangular pillow, yes.
How big?
It's
Tony, not to be crass, but maybe she was saying that in another, that didn't mean now. There's a difference between a safe word and a mortician word, okay?
Yes.
Okay, another physics question. How would that work? She's fairly thin, I guess. Never mind, I will overthink this at 3 a.m. in the morning to physics this out, but unless he's packing, I have some questions.
And I mean, you could always try to get a hold of Mr. Dick Patterson, who's also another Florida resident. You could inquire with him. And if anybody of you don't understand that reference, I highly encourage you to look that up on the YouTubes, because that is hilarious.
Is it like blue waffle? Because no. I think my computer has chlamydia now.
Mo. All right.
Yes.
We're gonna take a little happy trail here. All right.
Okay.
Dick Patterson, a dude in Florida who was accused of suffocating his girlfriend with his dong. That's what his defense was.
Was that the one where she was underwater and she drowned?
No, she was
Why are there multiple stories of this?
doing the lollipop thing, and apparently it was too big that she suffocated on it, and they were trying to introduce evidence of photographic proof into the case because they wanted to make sure that
That's
the
our
jury
next case.
there unfortunately there's only like snippets
Oh, damn.
of it, and I kid you not, the man finally got off, figuratively and literally.
I hope he has a safety warning now, like, maybe make a mark or so, like only this much.
The best part is listening to the attorneys argue to show his dong in court. It's the best. They're having like an actual legal argument over whether or not they're going to show the jury this guy's dong.
Look, his crotchular area is more probative than prejudicial. I think
hold
we
on.
need to see this anaconda.
Oh, hold on. I don't know if probative is the word we want to use.
Except that's the word that you're supposed to use, but I guess
know.
I would be giggling so much. Again, reason number 11 to 12, I can't be a lawyer. Because I'd be like, oh my God. This is stupid.
Yeah. It's
Also-
fantastic.
Dear tiny baby Jesus, as I pray to you right now, please don't let me pass that way, because it would actually, if it would embarrass my mother, I'm okay with it. But I love her too, and I don't want to be embarrassed. So if I could possibly not pass like that, that would be great.
Yeah. it's a hilarious story. Like it's obviously a tragic thing. Like a lady
yeah,
died.
I feel
but
bad because a lady
it's-
died, but it's one of those things where it's like, how do you not laugh at that? Like, what do you? Could you imagine the impact? Steve? I would feel so
Yeah.
bad because I wouldn't be able to hold it.
I mean, Jesus, the puns write themselves. I mean, they
I
just
know.
do.
I mean, if I had to do the PowerPoint as an opening, it wouldn't be a puzzle. Everything.
It's like, have you ever tried to swallow a pickle?
Oh my God. Because you know how there's always a moment in the case where the prosecutor stands up and says, and that person, can you just imagine like, and that person choked her with his penile area and did not, it was reckless homicide.
I mean, the actions afterwards definitely made him look guilty because like he ran away for like days. So like and left her there and didn't tell anybody. So like it definitely looked like he was
Well,
guilty, but
I mean,
it
would the cops actually believe she choked on
probably not.
that?
I mean,
No.
so like but he
It
was
was self-defense,
embarrassed.
Your Honor. She fell. I don't know.
Yeah, but he said that he was embarrassed, but like it did get a little weird because apparently like his daughter was a witness. I don't know
Oh,
what
God.
I don't know what she was actually testifying about, but like it did get kind of a little weird. But yeah, anyway,
Oh, Lord.
so yeah,
It's a...
It tickles me that he can't move his hands around.
Alright, so small grave.
he's like a T-Rex.
I want to make sure I'm
Yes.
telling you everything perfect. When she changed the sheet, she put a bunch of sheets on a bunch of stuff that was wet on the bathroom floor, and later on I cleaned up and threw that away. So the original sheet is there. I threw it away.
Threw it away or washed it?
I threw it away.
Okay. So any of the sheets that were like found in like the washer or dryer or anything like that, are they related? Involved?
I didn't do any wash, I don't think.
You haven't done any laundry since Christmas?
Shock.
Okay.
I
Alright.
don't believe I did.
Okay.
Can't figure out how to
So
turn
it
it
was
on.
actually like, that was so bad.
Well, the man that lived with moldering corpses probably isn't really too worried about cleaning up.
Yeah,
I doubt
there's
he got the Lysol wipes out and was like, I need to get coof, protocol going on here.
yeah, like I mean, as somebody who has a bit of an OCD when it comes to cleanliness, like this case just grosses me out. Like from that aspect of it, like I mean, obviously what he
Well,
did was
yeah.
horrific, but like that part is like
fun-
especially like, ugh.
Fun fact, the reason he's wearing the painter getup is because they made like the nurses, these poor nurses had to scrub his behind down and give him new clothes because that smell had just almost clung to his body.
Yeah, they actually had to take him out back and hose him down.
Yeah, pretty much. I would have. Like that scene in Shawshank Redemption? That's basically what I'd do.
Yeah.
Blood, that she was the blood.
Alright, so, go on, proceed, sorry.
It's okay. So then it came to me, and Megan asked that I wait a day or two to make sure everybody passed, make sure the house was all set, and I kind of slept in the town. So that's what I did. I started the Benadryl, I tried hanging myself.
And then you had to go buy more of?
Correct.
And that was where?
I went to CVS 24 Hours, I went to Publix, and I went to Walgreens.
There's one across by the Starbucks.
That's CVS.
CVS, so you went there.
Mhm.
The Publix is right there off of Blake, which is right there in front of Celebration. And the other one is where?
So Walgreens right next to Five Guys in the little restaurant thing there.
Oh, the new area.
It was correct, yes.
Okay.
No shot he left near Five Guys without fries and a burger. He was like, look, I'm off to go. I'm not staying on a diet. This dude who is, because in his testimony, he's going to be like, I was trying to lose weight. I had like a protein shake. Megan made the Benadryl cake or whatever it was, but I didn't eat it because I'm not eating dessert because I'm trying to be good. No shot he did not go to Five Guys and get like just everything on the menu plus a milkshake if they sell one. I've never been to a Five Guys, but I can just imagine.
Yeah, like I mean, because if we're just being honest here, right? Like you would think that a normal person who if they did something horrific like this, they'd be like, you know what, I may need to get something to eat because, like, I know I'm never going to eat anything like this ever again. So it's like, you might as well, because you ain't going to ever get it again unless you're going to the old
Yeah.
row of
Sparky.
unaliving stuff.
But I will also say that it beggars belief that Megan told him that you should wait a couple days. Now, putting myself in this situation, now he is Roman Catholic, allegedly. I am a recovering Catholic, which means that I respect Catholicism, but it's just not the right way for me to walk with the Lord. I understand it. I get it. It's a very, kind of rigid and, well, not rigid, but very traditional kind of walk. And I get that. But we Catholics like to have all the guilt. So how he could do this to his entire family, wait a couple days, go to CVS, go to all these different places, and be just fine for 3 weeks. It is levels of sociopathy I am not qualified to diagnose because I don't have a degree, and also I just talk on the internets.
Yeah, it is a very unique level of something that would allow a person to do this.
Compartmentalized thing. It's a very almost mission orientated kind of, I have done this, I now need to do this, and divorced all the emotion from it. But you were there when those kids were born. I don't get it. This case horrifies me because you wouldn't expect this, spherical man to be capable of all this evil, and yet he was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very confusing.
This was the day after or so, or when did you start purchasing more Benadryl?
About the day after, so yeah.
Did you purchase anything else besides Benadryl?
Alcohol,
Okay.
rum, and some more cola. Sirloin.
What's the one? The red one or something?
It's Merlot, yeah.
Okay.
And I also thought that it might be easier. See, I'm not much about guns in the house, but I was reading on Quora that you can kill yourself with a pellet gun.
Okay.
So that was reading. It hurt.
Where'd you shoot yourself?
In the liver and the heart. Back 2 wounds.
The liver and the heart.
The liver the first time.
With a BB force multiplier.
Yeah. Yep.
And let's be real, you'd probably need a 45 to get to the liver.
Yeah, I mean, BB guns or pellet guns, like, they can do damage, but, like, I would think that it would be more of a rarity that somebody is unalived from them. Probably more like one of those, things you would chalk up as a freak accident, rather than, like, hey, this is a viable way to do this.
So and the heart. Okay, get your Red Rider Daisy, with a compass and the stock. Seriously, sir.
Yeah.
You've got to be absolutely kidding. I'm surprised the cops didn't laugh out loud at this point.
Yeah. Like, it's if you just think about it, the notion is absurd.
Yes.
Bled quite a bit. Didn't do anything, but I woke up later on. And
We'll have it checked out, but we'll photograph later. Is the marks in there?
I haven't looked at the carpet. I'm still it's been forever.
Okay.
That was the last one. I tried the razor blade to the radial artery, which I told you I hit, but they didn't do it well in the
So what he's saying is that you have a lot of veins and such, the classic sort of thing you would see in Hollywood if they were doing a sort of self-deletion setup in a bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
And, just, it is beyond ridiculous. He's like, I tried, but I'm just too good at living.
Yeah. It's, again, the premise is the part that is just, it's so unbelievable that it's like, this is very much like the same kind of conversation that we had around the Chandler Halderson thing. It's just what he was saying was just so unbelievable that no one believed him because it just made no sense.
Yeah, it's very, once you see this interrogation or this confession, you realize that he is not out of it. He is not, in any way sort of confused about what's going on. He is able to tell you step by step what he did. And if he was so drunk on Benadryl, he wouldn't be. Now,
Yeah.
personally, Benadryl and the things like that make me incredibly hyper. So he'd have had a super Mo on his hands.
Yeah, well, I think probably if anybody has not actually seen any of this before, all of the stuff that we're saying, like it's going to make so much more sense when you actually see him take the stand. Because the way that he's
Yeah.
talking right now is exactly how he's going to talk when he is on the stand. Like he doesn't sound like he's slurring his speech or anything like that. He's very aware of what's going on. He's being able to give the minor details. Some of the details that he brings up here are going to repeat themselves in the trial. So it's like, it's going to make a lot more sense when you actually see him in a quote unquote normal state. It'll make so much more
Yes.
sense.
Now, in a weird tidbit about Tony Tot's, go take care of little guy and little puppers, and we will see you. Thanks so much for joining.
Later.
So weird little, how long after this interview? I will have to check. I don't remember how long after the confession he went to trial. I will have to look that up.
Or do you mean like how long after the crime? Like how long after he was arrested did he get here?
So this was 3 weeks. From what the pathologists and everyone can determine, this happened somewhere a little bit after Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
for 3 weeks, his family was basically all in the master bedroom. He moved them, according to him, when rigor set in, so they were easier to move. So he moved them all into the family master bedroom, put the youngest girl, Zoe, next to her mom, and unfortunately, being covered with all those blankets, Zoe was pretty much gone by
Yeah.
the time they got there. So you have to imagine he is sitting in this house for 3 weeks with his family in various states of deterioration.
Yeah.
And when the cops do actually go in and get in this house, he is significantly impaired. He doesn't really tell what he's on, but he is significantly impaired.
Yeah, and it looks like so he was arrested on I believe the 13th of January in 2020, and then he was sentenced. It doesn't give a date, but sometime in 2022 is when he was sentenced. It looks like maybe April 15th ish, 2022 is when he was convicted. So a little over 2 years from arrest to conviction. And they
Yeah.
believe that they were unalived sometime, they said 3 weeks, so it would have been sometime right around Christmas, just probably before Christmas is
Yeah.
when it would have happened. Allegedly. They don't really have an exact timeline, but
Yeah. The bodies were deteriorated, to put it kindly, so it
yeah.
was hard to determine a time. But yeah, it's just, this is an S show. Now, in a weird and somewhat ironic or oddly George Lucas history rhyme, doesn't repeat, it rhymes. Mr. Todd's father was a bit of a ladies' man as a high school teacher. He actually had a wife, children, and a fiance. And he had grown tired of his wife. So he basically encouraged and conned a special needs kid to come in and force multiplier his wife.
Yep.
Now, in an even odder twist, she lost her eye, I believe, on that side and suffered severe brain trauma, but she didn't die. And she actually stood with her husband for the trial and divorced him quietly a little bit after he got convicted.
Yeah.
So, in a weird twist, Tony Todt, who really hadn't had any relationship with his father after that point, decided to float the Megan Dunn did it letter, like a 13-page letter, in which
Yeah.
he explains how this is all Megan's fault to his dad. And his dad, of course, eats this up like, you know, a kid eating chicken nuggets because, well, he's not in. It definitely was the woman. So, and Rachel, to your question, yes, people did notice they were missing. In fact, that's why the feds were there for Tony, but the police had been by several times where either Tony was in the house and didn't answer, but everything looked pretty okay from the outside, and they didn't have an exigent reason to go in. So they just kept telling the families, like, look, we've checked the house, nothing looks amiss. We
Yeah.
can check again. Maybe they're, off on vacation and didn't tell you.
Yeah, and I believe the kind of the really crappy part about that, it was that it was his sister that was calling and who was showing concern for the kids and for Megan.
Yeah. And
So,
this was right around the time that the coof was becoming a scary big deal. So this was after it's just the flu, nothing's going to happen. It was right around, like, start hoarding toilet paper, we're all going to die kind of thing. So it was also written off as maybe they were just, getting coof protocol in place and sheltering indoors.
yeah, because I believe he used that as an excuse.
Yeah, he
That they
said
were
that
they all got
they
the
were
COVID
getting,
or something.
or they were going off grid. I mean, he did kind of lay sort of red herrings out there for his family, like they were going to go off grid and celebrate the holiday, or, they were getting sick. And that prompted his sister to start checking hospitals and everything else because she hadn't heard from them.
Yeah,
So there were people that noticed that they were missing. And it just happened that the cops, couldn't just bust down the door because everything looked pretty normal. And they figured, okay, they just gone off grid. Kind of like how a lot of police officers say, oh, well, this child ran away instead of, looking at more nefarious reasons.
yeah,
And doing the top, till dry up. Zip tie around the neck. The only thing that did was irritate my glottis. I couldn't get down the carotid artery because my neck is too big. So I tried to substitute that in with the towels with pressure points to go in the carotid arteries. I tried to set up hanging over the edge of the beds. Was trying to
Over
figure
the
out how
edge
to go
of the
through
bed?
and fall in the knife
You were trying to do an
direction to
Epstein?
get upward up into my. So my guy
Yeah.
get my,
Wait, what in the Rube Goldberg bullshit was he trying to do? He's like, look, I'm going to do autoerotic asphyxiation, but once I pass out, I'm going to fall on this knife.
yeah. That one didn't make a ton of sense to me. Like, I don't understand how you can quote unquote hang yourself off the edge of the bed. I mean, I don't necessarily want to know either, but like that one didn't make any logical sense to me.
Well, again, it goes to his grandiosity. He's tried everything, and he's just too good to die.
Yes.
You know?
Apparently, he's the next prophet or something. I don't know. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
do the David Carradine. Also, please, tiny baby Jesus, don't let me die like that either, though I don't really have that inclination. But, one day when I turn 50 and I want to get my youth back and I maybe want to try something new, just remind me not to. Thank you. This is why I couldn't be Catholic, because most of my jokes are just like, or most of my prayers are like that. Like, dear Lord, please don't let me be an ass.
I mean, it's not asking much, for being honest.
Well, normally I'm praying for other people, but when it comes to me, I'm like, please just don't let me die in some ridiculous way that's going to get me in Darwin Awards. Thank you and amen.
Again, I don't think that's too much to ask.
Also, I've seen Final Destination. Please don't let me do anything,
Oh, God.
to piss
Yeah.
death off.
Yeah, those were I remember when that movie first came out. That was a wild movie. The first one was. They
I
kind of went
still
downhill
won't
from
drive
there.
behind lumber trucks. Mr. Mo drives behind them like he's never been traumatized by that flippin' movie.
Yeah, I did learn some things from those movies, and it's like, oh yeah, you know what? It's probably not a good idea to get positioned behind trucks that are hauling large objects that can go through the windshield. Um,
This is a verbatim quote. I have yelled at Mr. Mo, would you stop driving behind the lumber truck like you're not damn traumatized by those Final F and Destination movies? We are going to die. Get away from it now. What is wrong with you?
yeah, like, I mean, I even do it for semis, like regular semis that aren't hauling stuff.
Oh,
I don't want to be
yeah.
around them.
Well, I don't want to, they drive professionally for a living. I'm just on the highway, shenanigansing, so
Mo,
I try to stay out of their way.
Evil Knievel drove professionally for a living. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot.
Well, true. Didn't his son go on to do like Evil Knievel Jr.? You
I
would think
think he
after you see
did.
your dad in traction like 84 times, you would just kind of say, nah, I'm going to be an accountant.
Yeah, it's like, I'm good, thanks.
Like he's rebelling, like, no, I'm going to be an actuary. Shut
Yeah.
up.
It's like, I'm going to sell insurance.
Yeah. And his dad's like, the sequin jumpsuit was never meant to be yours.
It was for Elton John.
Yes. You have dishonored me, son, with your accountant ways.
With your safety.
Yes.
What's it called? Diaphragm. Was also researching, but couldn't quite get to the femoral artery because how deep the femoral artery was.
Where are you doing your research at?
The internet.
What device?
Reddit. I used Ask Jeeves. I was like, where is the femoral artery?
It's next to
Which,
the other one.
to be fair, he has really chickeny legs for his big thighs. So I don't think that would be a problem.
So,
But
I was going to say something really mean. Do you think
this
that
is
when
the
he
place.
when he true when when he stabbed himself in the tummy, did he go "Woohoo"?
I hope so. Also, he didn't stabulate himself. He was looking for places to stabulate himself, but
Oh,
the
that's
knives
right.
just bounced off him like Superman. He needed to get kryptonite.
Yeah, the blades just bent.
He was a man of steel. He's going to
Yes.
name himself Stalin soon.
Meg's phone and my phone.
Thanks, phone. Okay, which phone? 'Cause I know you said you had two.
Hers is 6465.
Good
and that is,
advice.
I think she had a pink case to it.
Okay. Which phone was lost?
My 65361, a Samsung. And that one was lost before Christmas.
And where was that one lost at?
It was lost in Florida. I don't know where I lost it from the airport down.
That was the Samsung? I think you
Yeah,
said
the
it was
Galaxy
Note or something?
Galaxy Note 10.
Okay.
Okay. Now, since I'm a Luddite who has an Apple phone, doesn't Samsung have something akin to Find My Phone?
I think they all do, yeah. But I think you have to be up for like Samsung's service. It's not like through
Oh.
Android, Google. It'd be through whatever Samsung's service is that's embedded in the phone.
Oh,
But it reminds me though, like, have you ever heard the song like "I Lost My Wallet in El Segundo"? It's like
no, I haven't, but I need to listen to it now.
it's like I lost my wallet in El Segundo. It's like I lost my Galaxy in Sarasota. It's just like
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's just
It's so stupid.
he is so blasé about everything. He could be talking about a patient care thing. It's so weird. It is
Yeah.
just and again, he is completely lucid. He knows where he lost his phone. He knows which number. I couldn't tell you Mr. Mo's number unless I looked it up. because I always transpose numbers, so I actually have to look it up. Otherwise, I think I've given doctor's offices like someone else's number a lot.
Is that why I keep getting text from random doctors?
Probably. I'm like, he's my work husband. He's free to know everything.
No, like I actually do, like, because I have a Phoenix phone number, and like for quite a long time I was getting text from doctors' offices, and I'm like, and I started responding to them going like, hey, like I'm not the person like you should be disclosing this information to. It's like they didn't
And
even
I'm pretty
ask.
sure I'm not pregnant.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what procedure I'm supposed to be having tomorrow, but I didn't sign up for it. Thanks.
No, thank you. I'm not going to Phoenix for someone else's procedure. Have fun with that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which phone was left in like a Starbucks or something in Sarasota?
That phone, that was mine. I went back and got it.
Which phone?
I don't know the number.
You don't know if it was an iPhone or a Droid?
It was an iPhone.
It was your iPhone that you have now? There's still the same phone? Okay. So you went back and got it. And I can't remember, was that when the family was still alive that you went down there to Sarasota?
No.
They were already dead?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you drove the van, the red van down there?
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a white van or something involved? Was there a moving van, or did it appear you guys were moving at some point? Like moving out of that residence? That was just how people were saying, I don't know.
So, Tony Todd's house of cards was falling down. Megan had no idea that he had been committing insurance fraud to keep, basically two houses in the very, very astronomically pricey Celebration, Florida. So she had no idea of this. And Tony kept spending like there was no tomorrow. He kept spending like he hadn't been, caught by the feds. So they were supposed to be getting evicted probably a week or several days after he was found.
Yeah. Yeah. And something he just said. So something that he just said is actually very, very important. Because he contradicts it when he gets on the stand. He just said that the phone, that he went to Sarasota and that's where the phone was lost. But that is not what he says on the stand. At all.
Also, remember, he is going and doing these errands while his family is no longer alive in the master bedroom, and he plans to come back. Now, I don't remember why he went to Sarasota. I'm going to have to research that. But he does make a comment like, I got a Big Mac or something because I was just, hungry and I didn't care about my diet.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Is there any truth behind it?
No.
Okay. Prior to the deaths, were you guys planning on moving out of that home?
Prior to this. We had planned to... I don't know.
Okay, so did you ever get a rental truck or anything like that? Or,
Yeah, we did.
But when you guys moved in when? May? About 2019?
Yes.
Okay. So somebody had said they saw like a moving truck or something out nearby on the residence near the house recently.
Wasn't us.
Okay, all right, that's right.
No, wasn't us.
So people were calling in, people were saying, oh yeah, it looked like they were moving out or something like that. So okay, so you guys never had a moving truck. All right, on to the next thing. Sorry. So you drove down to Sarasota, left your iPhone at a Starbucks. Did they call you, or how did that go about? Did you call in or what? How did you call back?
I was leaving, and turned around, and I realized, I started going, and turned around and went back.
Okay. What were you telling the family during this time frame, like around the deaths and after the deaths?
I was either vacationing at the beach, or I was looking at piggy practices to purchase.
Who were you communicating with?
Sisters and mom.
Your sisters? Which sisters?
Kelly? I wasn't being with Chrissy anymore.
Was that Chrissy or Christy? Chrissy. Chrissy. Yep. Do you want to talk with her anymore? When's the last time you talked with Chrissy?
Closed captions. What are you doing here?
Was that Chrissy or Christy? Chrissy.
Oh. I mean...
Wash your mouth out with soap. Closed captions.
Wow. Google. Y'all are like, I'm pretty sure you're violating your own TOS. Jesus.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I kind of go off and I say all the words in these, and the only one that's ever been yellow has been the Courtney Clenny one, not even the Taylor Shabusiness one. I
Yeah,
was pretty sure that was going to be red.
that one, I think because like there was a suspicion that maybe she had a Janet Jackson moment. But
Oh,
like the thing is the video is so blurry you can't see anything anyway.
no.
So it's
Although I
like,
still really want one of those robes. I'm going to get a bougie silk robe and just walk around, throwing knives and doing all the things. It's going to be a Courtney Clenny year. It's just
I mean, it's like basic. I mean, because basically what it is like it's basically like a. I hate to say it this way. It's basically like a white lady's kimono.
hey, I'm cool with that. I fit the bill. I'm just
Yeah.
Do you want to talk with her anymore? When's the last time you talked with Chrissy?
A few weeks back. I don't know the date. It was, I really don't know.
What did you guys talk about?
I was pissed off that she wouldn't stay in my business.
Oh, okay. How about your last conversation with your mom?
That we were going to eventually be coming up and talk about moving up north, that kind of stuff, just to spice her and calm her down.
Okay. You talked to your dad lately?
No? I don't think so.
When's the last time you talked with him?
about the time he shot
I
my
don't know. I
mom.
really don't know.
Do you guys have a good relationship, or
Roughly.
Pretty easy relationship.
you and your mom?
Very close, and that's why I had to really be evasive with her.
Could she tell that maybe you were being evasive?
She could, that's why I had to reinforce the fact that I was trying not to be.
Okay. Your sisters?
The sisters just, they love me. And they have a sixth sense.
They do love you. Let's struggle with them.
Yeah.
Let's struggle with your family.
A sixth sense that's foreign. Closed captioning, you are just on fire today.
Okay. Your sisters?
The sisters just, they love me. And they have a sixth sense.
They do love you. Let's struggle with them.
They have a sixth sense, they do it. It's foreign. That's foreign.
So, so maybe what he was saying then is that like they had a wound that had pus on it, and it wasn't the other word because it's foreign.
Ah.
Maybe that's what the
Or,
problem
or
is.
maybe he's not as good a liar as he thought. And everyone was like, what the hell is going on, Tony? Why can't we reach your wife? We
Yeah.
need a sign of life. Put her face up with a newspaper of current date.
Yeah.
I love how he's like, they just have innate, knowledge. Instead of like most of us who are just like, yeah, this story doesn't make sense. How about you tell me the truth?
Yeah. It they're just because I don't know. I remember listening to so like this week I heard something about, or maybe it was like maybe I was listening to something that was older, but in the YSL thing they talked about like how these boys are calling each other 8 to 10,000 phone calls while these boys are in prison or in jail.
Holy Jesus.
And I'm like, 8 to 10,000 phone calls? Like
I
that's
don't
like
even, that's,
yeah,
can
like
that be yeah, no.
that's like high school girl level. Sorry, ladies. But like that's
Oh no, I get it.
and it's just like I can't wrap my mind around that. And so but like I know that most people today are most people are texters. And so like they're going to be like, this was just a couple years ago. It's not like the iPhone like was a thing, not a thing a couple
Yeah.
years ago. Like I'm sure she was texting people all the time, and I'm sure people, because she was so sick, were probably checking with her all the time, which is
Yeah.
again back to the Chandler thing. He just
Yeah,
never
it's
thought that
just-
anyone would check on them or anyone would
Well,
care.
it's the Chandler, it's the Joel Guy Jr. He thought no one would notice his parents. He could take his time cleaning up. I mean, it's this whole like, I have done away with them. The world doesn't. Why is the world still worried about them? Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a very disconnected way of looking at the world. But I mean, I guess if you're a sociopath to some degree, you are very disconnected from
Yeah.
that. So, I
And I
don't know.
mean, from what his patients have said before they learned he bilked them, he was very involved, very jovial, very, conversive. So it wasn't like he didn't have that kind of standard, you know, charm that's kind of linked with this.
Yeah.
But it's very superficial. It's a mimic of emotions. It's not a real emotion. So he was able to do all of this and then continue to function because that was an event. It was done. It's in a box. I'm doing something else.
Yeah. It's
Which I
very
don't.
weird.
Yeah.
That's roughly your family. All right. So Meg's dead. We come back from Sarasota. We were trying to establish a better timeline before, approximately when she was taken, when Meg died. And you're adamant that all this all took place before Christmas?
Yes.
All right. Positive, 100%.
It does that a lot. You're fine.
Yeah, before Christmas.
So, have you communicated with anybody after that? Has anybody texted you? Have you been using any of the other devices, anything like that?
Using devices to text people, yes.
And why'd you do that?
Keep people right, so I can finish myself.
Gotcha.
I was in a time where I still need to get to them.
Yeah.
I still have to get
Such
to
a
them.
weird thing to say.
And people
Yeah.
get closer and closer. And
I know people said that they were communicating with what they thought were your family members, and ultimately it wasn't.
No, it was me.
It was you.
Yep.
The zip ties and the knives and the research and
So he's supposedly so drunk and discombobulated because he's still trying to shuffle off this mortal coil faster than a grasshopper, and yet he's texting in the voice of his family members. Sir, make it make sense. This is a plot hole worthy of She-Hulk. You cannot have contradictory, motives for your character. He either wants to shuffle off this mortal coil or he wants to buy himself time.
Yeah. And I believe. Oh, go ahead.
But you can't, I mean, you can have it subtly be both, but it has to be very believable. You have to see an internal struggle. And he's so beige. He didn't, I couldn't even probably get through the recitation of taking my youngest child's life by laying on them without just curling up in a ball in the fetal position.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, I did this for 15 minutes, made sure, like, put a mirror under their nose to make sure they're not breathing. It just, ugh, sir. Gen
Well-
Pop Justice allegedly in Minecraft, please.
Well, but you begin to run into other problems with that, though, is because what he just said, again, I believe he contradicts this when he gets on the stand about the whole texting and stuff. I don't believe that he said it was him, or he tries to deny that it was him, or he doesn't remember.
Yeah, he tries to do the Sarah Boone, like, I don't remember, it's possible I did it in a drugged state, but you're trying to get me to believe that in a drugged state. And now, I will admit, I think I am funny as hell when I'm enhanced because, my pain is not great. But whether or not I could actually text in the voice of my family members after doing a gruesome crime, I don't think so.
Yeah, and I believe I don't believe I've ever taken Benadryl before, but there's a difference between because you know how you've seen, I'm sure we've all have seen the videos of people who are getting their wisdom teeth removed and stuff, and how they just turn into hilarious people. It's because you have zero filter at that
Oh
stage.
my gosh. Can you imagine? I have a story about, so imagine me getting that drug because I did when they were trying to place the temporary spinal stimulator to see if it would work.
Oh God.
Now, my doctor showed up 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
And I am so type A. I'm a chaos demon, but I'm so type A with important things that pissed me off right away.
Yeah.
So we get in there, they give me the drug, and I get back and I feel nothing. I don't feel a lessening of pain. I don't feel anything. I
Yeah.
feel intense buzzing in the wrong leg. And they're like, it'll be fine. And my doctor, being the autist that he is, was like, you did great, and slaps me on the left leg.
Oh,
I look at him dead in the eyes and I said, did you get your medical degree in Guam? What the hell is wrong with you? And then the Metatronics guy or MedTech guy or whoever was trying to sell my insurance this thing is over there and he's like, give it a chance. And for some reason, he reminded me of the monorail guy in The Simpsons. So I just started singing monorail, monorail, monorail.
but that level though of drug inducement is very different than Benadryl.
Yes.
Like they don't separate you kind of from reality, maybe is what I'm getting at. It's like it's a different thing. Like I understand people get tired, or most people
Yeah.
get tired when they take it, but being tired doesn't, it's not the same thing as like being a quote unquote truth serum where you're just going to confess to everything. It's not the same thing. Like it's just a very different
No.
thing that he's trying to later excuse. And yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
He's trying to say that he was in a fugue state, almost like, you know, Archer when his mom got married and he went away to be a cabana boy, or when he got a daughter and he went away to be a cabana boy. I mean, now I will show you. So after that, the thing did not work at all for me. In fact, I was in the worst pain that I've ever been in. But to show I am type A, I typed 3 pages of patient notes on myself because I realized I had not been, you know, maybe the kindest person on Versed. So I wanted to make sure that they knew that I had tried every permutation and it just didn't work.
Yeah. See, I'm the complete opposite when like I get meds like that, like because I've had my wisdom teeth taken out. I've had given something very similar when I had like a scope done and all this stuff. I turn into a comedian, and like apparently I think I am the funniest person in the world when I take these things. Because like I remember, I think I may have mentioned it before. Like when I had the scope done, like they put the little heartbeat monitor thing on your finger or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And like I would take it off and the nurse would come running because, you know, I just flatlined. And when she'd get into the room, I'd be
I
like,
shouldn't laugh.
yeah, she'd get into the room and I'd be like, I'm dead. And then she would like, okay. And she'd put it back on. As soon as she would leave, I'd take it off again. And they had to end up taping the damn thing to my hand because I kept taking it off. So
I will say, also, so typically you are supposed to try to be as non-invasive as you can with a CRPS patient.
yeah,
They put a combined, I think, 13 metric yards of surgical tape on my back. And the doctor was
Jesus.
like, I'll just rip it off. And I was like, are you I never saw that doctor again. I switched doctors. I know you're shocked.
yeah, sounds
But-
like a good choice.
Yeah. And he tried his best, but no. There are some people I can't deal with.
How come it didn't work?
Rip tight didn't work because I couldn't get enough compression on it. The knife, because in all honesty, I chickened out and carried it out with a knife.
Okay.
I tried taking so much Benadryl, then I took this, taking the alcohol with Benadryl, and every time I seemed to a little bit closer. So there was one day, somehow I woke up in the garage, in my urine and whatnot, and I had thought I died back then,
Oh.
and didn't. So,
Okay, and how quick after did you move? You said you wanted the family to be together, right? So take me through how does this take place? Because when they were all killed, they were all in different positions inside the home. Okay, so what happens?
the first day I just laid in bed with Meg the first day after she died. Just laid in bed with her. to say it was the second day after she died. And so,
Yeah,
it
no.
was moving.
I have told Mr. Mo I will put him out with the recycling. You are not staying in the house.
I mean, I'll give you some preemptive advice, Mo. You should probably call 911.
Well, I mean, I'm going to take him out of the suitcase. I mean, damn, I'm not, I have learned.
You don't even
I'm
have to
not
do
going to
that.
say we're playing hide and seek.
Just roll him outside. You don't have to take him out.
No, if Mr. Mo passed, I wouldn't lay next to his corpse. No, I love him, but, ew.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not so sure how I feel about open caskets. And I know it's a way to say goodbye to your loved ones. I know some people find it very comforting. Not me. At least, no.
Oh, hold on. All right. And you're poking fun at me because I think I'm a comedian. You tried to crash a helicopter.
I only made fun of, a guy and vaguely compared him to an unworthy or an untruthful salesperson on The Simpsons.
Yeah, you're trying to commit crimes.
To be fair, I was so hungry. I was like, maybe we could rob the subway. I need
that same incident that I was referring to. I literally told that nurse, I was like, that doctor has the best weed back there. He got me so high.
Possibly the only reason I would go into nursing, because I faint at the sight of blood, would be, dealing with patients coming out of Versed.
Yeah. I mean, I might actually pay to do that job just because it's so funny.
Yeah. Like, so who do you think the president is now? He's an alien. Sounds good to me. I agree.
Fact check true.
And
Yeah.
then make sure she was covered and everything was taken care of. She was on I remember her left leg had fallen off the bed.
Where the hell is she gonna go? She's
They
dead.
will move her left leg up and tuck her leg underneath, touch the underneath, get her nice and comfortable. Move Zoe in, put Zoe in. Before all this was done, we had the kids bringing all those little altar things.
They're like favorite items or something?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to fix those because I knocked those over. After I put Zoe up.
Good.
Okay. So I fixed those out. And then it was which one do I do first? So you bring Tyler over, do it up, or do I bring Alex up? And I thought, just
Yeah,
my strength, and
I still-
wasn't too strong at the time right there. To actually get Tyler upstairs.
So, in an odd twist of things, you guys know I'm a twice college dropout. The first time I went to college, I was going to be a teacher for middle schoolers. Now, I never have realized that I have a deeply masochistic streak, so I'm glad that kind of didn't work out now that I've met a bunch of middle schoolers and birthed them. Yeah, I don't think I would have been a great job at that. But the next time, I was going to be a surgical tech. Now, the multitudinous, Sarah Boone word, things wrong with that is that I don't like icky stuff and I tend to faint. So I was supposed to be the person that was going to count the instruments and like hand them to the doctor. God intervened. I've heard you get used to it. I've heard that people say you get used to it, but I still, like when youngest most feral knocked out his second tooth and split his lip open, I was glad that they allowed me to sit down.
Yeah.
Because they gave him, youngest most feral is a belligerent drunk, because they gave him ketamine, gave him the stitches, and on the way home, he was like, I want fries. And I was like, he's like, you need to get me French fries. And I'm like, you're going to be a belligerent drunk.
Wait, they gave him ketamine for stitches?
Well, it was his entire lip. Like it was split in
okay.
half. So they had to do
okay.
stitches. And he's a little guy. So,
That makes
other
more
than
sense.
holding him down and that,
like-
but he was just like, I want French fries. Dang it. Take me to Donald's.
It's like, because I was gonna say when I was a child, because believe me, I've had a lot of stitches. all they would do is like a little iodine on the wound and be like, here we go.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, but then again, I was like, I was a military brat, so like, you didn't exactly
Yeah.
get I don't want to say the greatest care. That's not the right way to say that, but they weren't.
They weren't there to nurture and coddle you. They were like, take a salt
Exactly.
pill, walk it off.
Yeah, like I mean, I mentioned to you before that like I was a month late when I was born because they didn't induce labor back then in the military.
Oh,
So
good God. Your mom was like, I'm done. I have a crowbar and some Wesson oil, and
basically, it's
I
like
was a week and a day late with my first in the middle of damn August because I'm a poor planner. Well, I mean, it would help if I had planned things, but I digress. And I was like, if you come out on the due date, I will give you a car. Now, that didn't work. So,
yeah.
but yeah, your poor mom. You should send her flowers now.
Yeah.
Tyler, he was the one who was downstairs.
He's the one downstairs.
He's 11.
He's 11, yes.
Okay.
So I was able to get him up on my shoulders and carry him up a little bit by little bit.
Okay. And to back up a little bit, I want to speak about Zoe.
Yes.
So Zoe was in her bed.
Correct.
Tourette's.
Had you checked, because Ritter was kind of...
Closed captions.
But you talked about it. Yeah. Did you check on her periodically to see when she'd come out?
I hadn't checked on her periodically. I just knew she was in vigor.
Jesus, he's talking about it like he's doing a Ron Popeil ribs, ribulator, like set it and forget it. He's like, look, I checked on it periodically. I made sure the brisket was going well. I checked the smoker. What the actual crap?
Yeah, it's not funny because like what he's talking about is horrific, but it's like
Yes.
the way that he's talking about everything. It's just as casually as like zipping your fly, like no big deal.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the profound like horror that most people have on this. He's just like, look, it was a Tuesday, I have to do stuff.
Maybe have you ever listened to Ted Bundy talk?
No, you know what pisses me off? Everyone says he's handsome and he has a fucking unibrow. And I'm like, why? I'm like,
Apparently
shave
some
that
ladies
shit.
find that. Apparently there's clearly a population of women that think unibrows are the thing. But
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have, Love After Lockup and oh my gosh, is that a trash show? And oh my gosh, do I like to watch the train wrecks? I'm not gonna lie.
that's an actual show.
Yeah, it's called Life After Lockup or Love After Lockup. I don't remember. I only watch like YouTube snippets when I'm in a mood to watch, well, just train wreck. Look, I used to watch Honey Boo Boo. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, does Sal know about this show?
You know what? I need to tell him, but we can do reviews.
I was
It'll
going
be
to say,
great.
this is right up his alley. Like, no, I mean like to be a contestant.
Oh, true. It's mostly men getting with women, but I have seen some women that get with men. Unfortunately, it always seems to be more of a sugar baby or I'm extorting you for goods and not a
Is
true
that what they
love
call it
match.
now?
Well-
Goods.
Well, I mean, like, buy me a car, get my nails done, that kind of thing. It always seems to be like you're a wallet and not a person. Oddly enough, prisoners might not make the best love match.
No, you don't say, Mo.
Yeah,
I mean, but they all do have wallets. If you know what I'm saying.
true. Prison wallets are important. Women are better equipped for prison walleting than men.
Technically, would women have prison purses because there's two? And men just have wallets?
How do we get on these things?
I don't know.
I love how it gets too much for us, so we have to kind of turn it away because that's why we ended the Daryl Brooks stuff. He was so insufferable. I forgot how slowly he talked.
Yeah, it just does take a long time to get through it.
It was just like, giblets, sir. Could you get to the damn point? I know you won't find one, but could you possibly aim directly at whatever the hell you are actually trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely insufferable. I mean, so to be fair, Anthony Todt is insufferable on the stand as well. However, he talks faster. So it goes quicker.
I have him sped up to 1.25 because, good Lord.
Yeah, because this is the intentionally trying to talk slow and like act like I'm out of it. And so like it sounds like he's having a normal conversation. It doesn't even sound like he's talking fast at 1.25. Yeah. It's just because he's trying to make it sound like he's under the influence of something.
Yeah, he's got depressed reflexes. He's slowed down. He's articulating very, detailed things. The time he's got things linear and chronologically correct. So it's not the same thing. He's acting badly, just like Sarah acted badly.
Correct. Yeah.
Just because I went to go, I went to position her. So in my mind, she had to stay warm, and her arms were outside. So I went to put her arms down to make her nice and comfortable. And I couldn't move her arms down. It's like, okay, just so I'm right there. It's like, well, if I could love her.
So the police theory is that he bundled them up purposely, to increase decomp and possibly hide the stab wounds. Now, that is conjecture. It's not been, proven by anything, but it does make sense in the scenario where he was trying to flee, after he had done this, and kind of they all died, but they were so decomped that, they couldn't tell, which might be a practical reason that he went for the inferior vena cava, because if they decomposed, that's a fleshy wound that they wouldn't have been able to detect, versus the femoral artery, which, if you go too deep, you might nick the bone, and there's evidence that foul play had occurred.
I wish Sarah was still here because she could probably answer this question. Because now that you say that, I wonder if maybe if the reason he went for an internal organ that's not the heart, I wonder if that would have something to do with potentially like speeding up the decomp process. So maybe he thought that they just disappeared or whatever.
Well,
I wonder if that would have something to do with it.
I think he was much more calculated. Because the inferior vena cava is such a hard place to reach, but as I sit and think about it, if he was attempting to flee after this and make it seem like they all died of maybe the coof or something, and he was just so overcome it put him into an altered state, then he wouldn't want anything where he could leave all the evidence. And yes, an internal, if you nick the intestines, there's all sorts of bacteria in there. So he probably did.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be curious from a mortician's perspective if that actually would potentially have a greater impact on speeding up the process. Just because if you're draining the blood.
Sir, you're not even, it's not even kosher. Go away. Yes, I'm fighting my were kitten for, no, don't touch the, okay, sorry. Damn it, cat.
That's okay. While you're fixing that, I'm going to, so I have a question, Moni. What is a beach purse? Because I'm aware now because I invented the word.
Your boobs.
A prison purse is. But what is a beach purse, or do I even want to know?
It's when you get sand in there. I hope not, because that seems uncomfortable.
I mean, I would think that it has something to do with either. Oh, yep, she said correct. So apparently it's a bikini. Apparently is the beach purse.
Oh.
Okay, got it.
There you go. See, this is an educate.
This is
Dingus, if you don't get off my desk. So I am becoming a meaner cat mom this week. No, would you get off my
it's
for
funny
the
because
love
like
of all that is
you can clearly tell he's playing with the mouse because like the little
No,
window is moving.
he's standing on the keypad. What is it? Off. Get off. I am getting a spray bottle. I'm putting holy water in it and I'm going to start spritzing you.
Watch, he's gonna be one of those cats that actually enjoys being sprayed with water because
Yeah,
there are
he's a
cats
Maine
that like
Coon.
it. Yeah,
And I think they like to swim, so he's gonna be like, more. Punish me harder, Mom. Dingus,
just-
butthole, Finklebutt. Stop.
he's just gonna sit there like one of those models in like the old like L'Oreal commercials or whatever, just like basking as the water comes in, and his
He's
hair
gonna be an
flowing.
herbal essence commercial.
Yeah, there you go, herbal essence. L'Oreal, like, that's makeup, yeah.
Yeah, but and he messed up the deck on it, Dingus. What is wrong with you? I think we were right about there. I don't know. There was a time. If it's not the kids, it's the cats. I give up.
It's one or the other.
I have told Mr. Mo, like, if we win the lottery, which would be amazing because neither of us play, I have so much social anxiety. You have no idea. So if I get into a gas station, I don't know how the lottery works. And then I feel like there's always a line behind me, and then I don't want to ask questions, so I never do it
Yeah.
because it just seems like too much peopling.
Yeah.
I love that my gambling addiction is stopped because I just don't want to people.
It's funny because like the only reason that like I have a vague awareness of how it works is because way back in the day when I was a young lad, as a teenager, I worked at a gas station, so I'd have to like generate Powerball tickets and stuff for people. So like I have a vague awareness of how it works, but I don't gamble. So yeah, I get it.
Dingus, you're not going to fit between my... He is now in my cross-stitch frame. I gotta... How is it? You know, I thought he was a calm kitten. I thought he was a good kitten. And then he got exposed to my youngest, most feral.
Well, so now he's starting to go feral.
Pretty well, he's gonna get the snipperoo here soon because he's like...
Oh, so so he will definitely calm down after the snipping.
Yeah, but there's different studies, like some say get it done really early, and then some say for the larger cats it messes up their hormones if you do it too early or they don't grow as big. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm definitely like, you are at the age you need to, because he's all of our cats are neutered and spay except for him, and he's noticing the lady cats. And they're like, get the flip away from me. I hate you all. Because the girl cats just want to be left alone. Our boy cats have been, again, exposed to our youngest, most feral. So they just kind of do the limp political prisoner thing when they're being held.
Yeah.
They're resigned to their fate.
Yeah. That's funny.
It is. He's such a... I have a cat tree or it's like a cat tower that you put and it kind of tensions up to the ceiling. So I need to put that up so he can have a place to kind of come over and not be on my flippin' desk, you frickin' reject. You were supposed to be a good cat.
Yeah, I actually saw it because people are making jokes now about getting snipped in the chat. I saw something the other day that was hilarious, and I'm going to try to find it. Because it was a lady got like, her hubby was getting the old snipperoo, and she bought him a bunch of candy.
Oh, and like no nuts, like mounds instead
Yeah,
of
she
almond
changed the
joys.
names on them all. and I was like, that may be the most hilarious thing that I've ever seen. Because some of
Oh,
them
I
were
know.
kind of mean, but they were really funny.
I think I've seen that one. It is hilarious. I will say, if if you happen to, push back your appointment, bad things can, I mean, feral things can happen. Because we found out I was pregnant right before he went in for his consult.
You had to get one more in there.
In my
And I mean
defense,
child, not.
yeah. In my defense, so what had happened, Your Honor, in my defense, I plead the fifth, but I was at the Memorial Day picnic with my family, and my brothers are better drinkers than I am, but somehow there was moonshine involved, and apparently moonshine is my kryptonite.
Oh God, I found it, Mo.
Oh, okay, you can put it up if you want. We're wrapping. We usually do about 2 hours, so we can put up the old snipperoo.
I don't. Let me see if it'll. Share. Share. Window. Oh, it's not gonna let me share it, and I forgot it's on my end. So I'll read the candies to you. So
Sound
it
good.
has the Nutty Buddy bars. She put stickers on it. It says goodbye, Nutty Buddies is what it says. And then like Sour Patch Kids, she put a sticker over like the Sour Patch and it says hooray for no kids. And then Reese's Pieces, it says I love you to pieces. And then Goldfish, and it says say goodbye to your swimmers. And then over the Milk Duds, she covered up the milk and it says you'll be shooting nothing but duds. And then the one that's kind of funny and crude is Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, and it says she covered it up and it says nothing but and then cream pie.
And Kay, I love my youngest Miss Farrell. God knew exactly what he was doing. We needed a chaos person, but he's also the sweetest, most loving kid. He's aggressively friendly. So he's he's like, I love you. I want to be your friend. Can I live inside your soul? It's kind of like he doesn't understand personal space, but he is a good kid and he does try really hard to be good. He just has so much energy.
Yeah.
But he's hilarious. He's always making me laugh. So he's not a bad thing. I'm just saying if he didn't want any more kids, it might not have been the best, birthday surprise for my husband.
Yeah. I mean,
I still contend I got him the best 40th birthday present ever.
yeah. It's a funny story because it was a week before his consult.
Yeah, I had just given away like every single baby item. I'd taken all of my maternity clothes out. I had like gotten rid, like we were done. I mean, and then, because we were already starting to look at bigger cars because I realized, a minivan with 5 kids, that's, it's not as spacious. So we had ordered the Ford Transit 10 passenger.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it all worked out. It's not like I couldn't get more, maternity clothes or anything like that. It was just very, very shocking and not at all what I'd expected to happen. But he's also, a good friend, a good listener sometimes when he can slow down. So he is absolutely a blessing.
Yeah.
I don't need any more blessings, though, God, if you're listening. 'Cause I know we have both been spayed and neutered in my house. I am playing no jokes with this one, with this thing.
You're following the Bob Barker policy.
We are, yes, spay and neuter your parents. Make sure they don't have any more siblings. But no, so thank you guys for joining us. We will be continuing on this. I'm going to try to play it at 1.25 speed so we can get through this. It might be a little bit of a longer stream next time, just so we can get this done so we can go to the testimony.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for joining. Share this with your friends. I think that this is a pretty cool concept, but I'm trying to. It's weird to ask you guys to share this. I feel like such a streamer when I'm not, which I am, but like, subscribe, and share. But if you think you know a friend that could use a little bit of a laugh, maybe has a dark sense of humor, likes tangents, you
Yeah.
know, see if they want to check it out. Because I do think that this is definitely a unique way to look at kind of true crime with humor and respect and facts about the case, but a little bit more lighthearted. And we don't talk about body language and the read technique and all that
Yeah.
jazzy jazz.
We talk
So,
about other techniques.
David Carradine techniques. But have a wonderful day. Let me see who I can let you guys go to. Who is live right now?
Let's see.
So right now we have Dolly Talk, Megan Fox. Megan Fox is talking about the Hales. I think I'm going to send you over to Dolly. He is doing Craig Lewis stars in a Firebee, but mostly peaceful trial, visiting the home of Murdaugh, day 3, and closing. So that is where I'm sending you. Give Sal all the love. He does a lot of work, and he works a full-time job too. So he is, grinding to the nth degree, and I think that's awesome. So I will send you guys there. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great day, and just be kind to other people and all that
Yeah.
other jazz. Bye, you guys.
Yeah.